the group, so right off the bat, I'm going to turn it over to her.
And let me tell you, I don't know if I'm happy that I'm following Mr. Rogers. I mean, that was pretty amazing. And our kids are not nearly that well behaved, so they can't come up here with us. So that's pretty amazing. This time last year, we were actually waiting to finalize the adoption of our two little girls. They are 2 and 3. Their names are Grace and Annalise, and we already had 2 biological children, Trey, who is 9, and Addison, who is 6. And our story is slightly different. We were a foster family. That was going to kind of be our MO. We were going to be that foster family, you know, the one that always has different kids in and out. We have big pictures on our wall of all the kids that had come in and out of our home, and that was just going to be us. And I had this wonderful picture of what that would look like. And we had one placement after we opened, and then in walked in December of 2013 2 girls who would stay and never leave. And through that process, my eyes were open. The goal when the girls came to us was reunification with their mom. And we had a wonderful caseworker. We worked with her on the reunification goal, and then suddenly it changed. It changed to termination. And when that goal changed, we realized that, without ever really saying a word, that the girls were a perfect fit in our family, and that we could just see them being a part of our forever family. But I'll tell you that it was at that point that my box of adoption was really shattered, because here I was grieving in a courtroom for a birth mom who was losing the rights of her children. But on the other hand, I was also thinking, wow, could these really be my children? Could they be a part of our family? And it really kind of shattered, and it made me realize adoption is messy and adoption is hard. But it is something that we are not just called to do it, we're commanded to do it. It's not a question, it is a command, it's a clear command. And so when we brought them in, I kind of, like a lot of adoptive parents, I think, thought, oh, our toddler has a history of trauma and a lot of previous moves. And I thought, well, we're a family unit now. We have structure and order, and I'm gonna save this little girl. And we cannot be their savior. The only thing that we can do is point them to the Savior, and in that process become close to ourselves. And that is another part of what our command is to point all of these children to the Savior and give them hope and peace and love. We should never have stories of children aging out of foster care, and unfortunately we do. And this has never been more real to me than a few weeks ago. Our church is partnering with a group who takes care of children that have aged out of foster care, and they are they're learning life skills that they've never learned. They're learning how to live in a home with other people. And I was entering their list into our computer at home because I was getting them ready to distribute the next day at church, and one of the 21-year-old lists that I saw, it was such a sweet list. And I remember she stood out to me because it was much like a list Addison, my 6-year-old, would have written. There's a lot of pretty pink things and stuffed animals, and you could just tell she had taken some time on that wish list, and it was important to her. But on the back, and J.O. noticed this when he turned it over, on the back, in real small handwriting, scribbled through, said, "But what I really want this Christmas is my mom. But I know that will never happen." And she had written it down, and then she scribbled through it. And, I thought, this is completely unacceptable that she's 21 years old and she's making a Christmas wish list that she's excited about, but she would do away with all of that for a family. She should never be 21 years old hoping and wishing for that. She should, like Judge Warren said, family is innate within us, connections. She should never have to long for that. And so we failed her. We have allowed her to go through, never connect with the family, never have a family unit, and here she is 21 years old, and that's still the first thing that she thinks of on Christmas or on holidays, like we talked about. So, like previously said by Mr. Rogers, I was thinking, what can I say to just, I've been looking up, if you know me, I've just been researching fancy quotes and nice feel-good things about what we should do. And as I leave you, I would just leave you with, adoption is kind of messy sometimes, and it is hard, and it is sometimes you just kind of feel like, I'm in this by myself, but it is the most beautiful picture of how Christ can work all things for his good, and a real good picture of our adoption into his family. We're messy, we're broken, but yet he welcomes us so perfectly into his family. And we've got, I hear him back there, we've got a rowdy household. We still take foster children, so our house is very busy. Instead of the front and side picture of all the kids in and out of our home, we're now doing it with 5, 6, 7 kids sometimes. But I don't think either one of us would say it's a journey that we would ever go back and not do again. It is so much better on this side than it ever could be outside of it looking in. So thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.